Good evening. We're going to call this meeting to order. This is meeting number 07-2016 of the Arts, Recreation, and Cultural and Community Policies Committee. Excuse me. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda? Councillor Senek and Councillor Baum. And any additions or deletions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Passes. Item 3, confirmation of the minutes, that the minutes of the Arts, Recreation, Community Policies Committee meeting number 06-2016 held Thursday, June 23rd, 2016 be approved. Do I have a mover? Councillor Baum, seconded by Councillor Holland. Any amendments, deletions, subtractions? Fair enough. All those in favor? Pass. Okay. Disclosure of pecuniary interest. Does anyone have a pecuniary interest in any matter before the committee tonight? Seeing none. Item 5, delegations. 5A, Michael Parker, Kingston Panthers RFC, will speak to the committee regarding a vision for a rugby park in Kingston. If you can come to the podium, please. Okay. And you have 5 minutes, and the committee may ask you questions. Okay?
Look forward to that. How's the sound, everybody? Great, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, councillors, good evening, and thank you very much for the opportunity to meet with you today. As you see from the black and gold around the room, we are the Kingston Panthers Rugby Football Club. Indeed, we are this city's rugby football club. And we are here this evening to propose a partnership with the city of Kingston to develop Caton's Park into an innovative year-round sports and recreation center. I emphasize partnership because our club will bring money, people, and other organizations to this project. We are not here cap in hand. Before I begin, just a quick note that the briefing package that we've provided for you contains this presentation, as well as some initial answers to questions we expect you will have for Q&A. Bear with me, just technical difficulty. James? My apologies. So first, a few words to introduce ourselves as your future partner. For 49 years and counting, the Panthers Club has provided the many recreational and social benefits of our great sport to hundreds of Kingstonians each year. This year, for example, we had 350 registered players, male and female, from the ages of 6 to 66 years of age, and I think you see us well represented across those ages here tonight. We are confident that those numbers can grow over 1,000 just for our club with this new park. Our club is deeply committed to the Kingston community. In addition to our own club program, we provide many qualified coaches and referees to the local high schools, colleges, and Queen's University. And very important to us, we provide financial and other support to several disadvantaged young athletes each year. We are also very excited by our new partnership with the Boys and Girls Club of Kingston and area, which will open our sport to as many as 4,000 new children and youth players, as well as providing leadership development opportunities, for our youth and young adult members. Of course, we represent one of the world's most unique, inclusive, and compelling major sports, which is growing rapidly in several directions. A short sidebar here that rugby returned to the Summer Olympic Games this year, and that the Canadian women's team won bronze in rugby sevens. No doubt, there you go. No doubt this will further accelerate the growth of all rugby here in Kingston and across our country. Our 13 club teams, as well as dozens of our club members as individuals, are frequent ambassadors for this city at all levels across our country. And there is a slide in our background notes outlining this year's successes in those regards. Lastly, while we represent history and community and success, we also represent innovation, and more importantly, the ability to deliver that innovation. We are here with you this evening because we share a common problem with the City of Kingston. Simply put, there are not enough outdoor sports fields in the city to meet current and forecastable demands, and that's not just for our sport, at least as those fields are currently developed and allocated. Two particular issues which we believe our proposal will address. First, inefficient use of those fields. For example, fields that are allocated but not used, with, ironically, Caton's Park as a stark example of that this summer. And second, significant limitations of grass fields in terms of availability, usability, safety, and enjoyment. To underscore this problem, please note that 7 of our club teams this summer practiced on the same field at the same time, while 2 fields at Caton's Park went largely unused by organized sports, except for the Ambassadors Cup weekend. We, being rugby footballers, are creative problem solvers and team players on and off the pitch. Thus, as I stated at the outset, we are here to propose a partnership with the city that will deliver great benefits to many stakeholders. Our proposal is based closely on a model proven by city and rugby club partnerships in several municipalities across Ontario, and then adds for the unique potential of Kingston as a premier destination for local, provincial, regional, and national rugby, and hopefully for other sports as well. Our vision for a Caton's Pasture Sports Park, to use a more historic name perhaps, has 3 main components: 2 playing surfaces, a field house for storage, change rooms, as well as space for multi-purpose community use, and, not insignificantly, safe off-street parking. A few important notes about the playing surfaces. First, being full-sized rugby pitches, they can accommodate other sports such as rugby, football, lacrosse, and field hockey. Initially, we would use the existing natural grass fields, but would transition to year-round turf fields over the next 2 to 5 years. Also, Caton's has enough space around the north field for temporary spectator seating, which would support tournaments, festivals, and other large events, with good access to install and remove those seating from Russell Street. Our club would be a full partner with the City of Kingston, bringing important assets and capabilities to this project. First, we have access to several distinct sources of funding.
1 minute.
Funds, pardon me? Thank you. Funds not available to the city. As such, our club will raise funds for the clubhouse and for the turf pitches. Secondly, cost sharing and work sharing with the city. And third, we believe that we bring an impressive list of local and other partners who will help grow this park. And lastly, of course, we have a proven business model and the people, expertise, passion, and time to execute that. To close, 4 important points for your consideration. First, Kingston is very definitely a rugby town and has been for decades. Our club, Queens, St. Lawrence, the high schools, RMC, all have strong rugby programs and want to grow. Second, notwithstanding this history and potential, there are no rugby pitches in the city inventory, despite there being over 60 designated soccer fields. Third, of course, we're not proposing anything not already proven elsewhere in the province. And finally, for reasons of location between the major centers of Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, and indeed the United States, For accessibility, size, attractiveness, and of course, the local rugby community, Kingston has unique potential as a premier destination for rugby at all levels in our country. For example, our club, over the last 15 years, has delivered several senior international matches here in partnership with the local community, including KEGCO, who are our partner in this project. And then Rugby Canada, Rugby Ontario, Eastern Ontario Rugby Union, and others are all keen to do more rugby and other sports in this city. So on behalf of the Kingston Panthers Rugby Football Club, thank you very much for your time and attention. We look forward to your questions now, to further discussion later, and to a very successful partnership at the new Caton's Pasture Sports Park. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sit down.
That was very heartening, but next time you're in council, the rules don't allow for applause, okay? It's my responsibility as the chair to tell you that. But that was quite good.
You can't curb enthusiasm, Mr. Chairman.
Well, alas, that's what the chair is here to do. So, questions from the committee?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And through you, so a couple questions in regards to the revitalization of the North End with this proposal. I guess, first of all, just a really practical question. Have you had any interactions with the North Kingstown Working Group that's okay
Absolutely.
to date? Okay.
Absolutely.
Great.
In fact, we have a couple of our club members who attended the meeting the other night. We feel we have a lot to offer to North Kingstown. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, and so I guess just to follow up then on that, with the proximity of this location to the high schools, this fair concentration of high schools with the current Regiopolis and the future combined Kiwi KCVI area, do you have what is your sense, I guess, in working with the schools and with the Boys and Girls Club in creating and promoting more participation, for example, at that level, to continue to expand participation throughout the city?
Thank you. Caton's Park is right in our sweet spot. For many years, decades even, we have supported rugby at QECVI and Regiopolis. And in fact, many of the kids that we talked about that we support financially and otherwise come from those two schools. As you probably know, QE's in a bit of a shakeup for the next couple of years. And as you probably know, Regiopolis, with all their great sports programs in the spring, have moved their rugby. And in fact, I think one of our rugby coaches from Regi is here now, over to Memorial Arena, where the city promptly fined them for trying to play sports. So we've had great support from both schools in terms of Caton's Park, and indeed from Limestone District School Board in particular. What we propose to offer, where we propose to offer, fits very well for them. To the second part of your question, where you talked about the Boys and Girls Club, as you know, they have a fantastic facility 3 blocks down the street from Bagot. We are already starting to work on doing a number of summer camps with them, hopefully at Caton's Pasture. It's a fantastic relationship, which I think does a lot for both organizations. Thank you for your question.
Any other questions from the committee? Councillor Sanik.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you, thanks for the presentation, Mr. Parker.
Thank you.
Just wondered, whereabouts in this area, Eastern Ontario, are some cities with really good rugby pitches right now?
Sure. So we visited quite a few. I would note Peterborough Pagans, Ajax Wanderers, Oakville Crusaders, and then of course there's a couple of different situations in the city of Ottawa.
And for your selection of picking Caton's Pasture, I just wondered, have you talked to staff about that, or is this the first time that staff is hearing your pitch?
Thank you. Another question. So we are aware of and have been engaged with Mr. Falwell's staff on the Caton's Park improvement project. The mandate of that project, as you know, is fairly specific. It's just the brownfield remediation. In that sense, we were proposing something which was much broader in scope than what that project did. That said, we were disappointed, to be frank, that our proposal was not taken with interest by Mr. Falwell's staff. I know that it didn't fit in that remit, but this is an exciting opportunity, not just for our club, but for this city. And we would have hoped that it would have been given a little bit more. Indeed, it wasn't until Councillor Hutchison heard us at a Caton's meeting that we had the opportunity to come here. Another note, if I may. As we develop this project, and we've been working diligently in this phase for about 6 months, but we've been working on it for years, we have studied closely other successful rugby club municipality partnerships, as well as other organizations. All of them tell us that it's important for the club to have a strong relation with the city staff. We are interested in that, and we're working on that. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, can I just ask the third question? Right. So the reason why I'm just asking about Cadence Park is that, as you know, we have one artificial turf field over at the Invista Center, and then the indoor dome right now is over in Westbrook that's privately owned. The city was either going to put the footings for a future, one day, far off in the future, second dome that would be run by the city at Cadence Park, or was it an artificial turf field footings at Cadence Park? And because Cadence Park, that land used to be, it's really unstable because it used to be a dump, we had to do those footings instead out Highway 15. So when you talk about the 2 full-size rugby pitches that you want at Cadence Park,
yes.
And right now natural grass is okay, but when you say eventually turf for high-volume year-round use, that's artificial turf, right?
That's correct, yeah.
My question then to staff is, could that ever happen even if the city paid 100%? Like, is that even possible, knowing what we know about what's underneath the field at Cadence Park?
Staff can answer that question.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. The councillor's correct. We originally looked at Cadence for a future dome prior to the Westbrook structure being constructed, and it was cost prohibitive to put an artificial turf field there because the ground is not stable. It is fill, as you had mentioned, and the costs were 3 times the scale of our future construction that then took place at John Meehan Sports Fields.
So, if I may, we've had some emphasis on some engineering advice on Cadence. And it's our understanding there's a distinct difference between the engineering, the surface soil engineering required for the dome, which I don't think is cost effective necessarily, and Westbrook's a pretty good example of that, than putting in an undomed turf field. So I had asked that that question be confirmed before we go any further on that.
I just wanted to raise that because this is the ideal forum to raise that,
Right.
Just in case it won't work, just because of that one reason. So that's why I
Right.
just wanted to put it out there.
Now, if I may, just to follow on, you also mentioned Westbrook and Invista, and as I mentioned, we have some concerns with Westbrook in as much as the pricing model doesn't work. Right? And the idea of creating these facilities is to have maximum recreational use. If you price it out of people's abilities, then you've defeated the purpose. I think that's the fundamental issue at Westbrook. Invista is a little bit of a different issue in that we're not certain that the turf there, well, first of all, it's not big enough for proper rugby. Secondly, I don't know if the turf is rugby certifiable. If you make a rugby certifiable turf, then it is automatically safer for all the other sports, soccer and football, because we have the highest specifications for that. Again, the pricing model in Invista is a pretty high barrier to accessibility. The location in terms of accessibility, a lot of our youth and children members are busing, they're walking, they're biking, which brings us back to the attractiveness of the Cadence Park field. That said, If all else fails, the reason why Caton's Park could work even without turf is because it has 2 pitches. And you can manage the wear and tear on one grass pitch by using the other one. And that's in fact what a couple of other clubs around the province have done. Thank you.
Councillor Bohm.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and through you. You mentioned the proven business plan. And you mentioned Peterborough. Are there other instances within the sort of local area where you're aware of where this model has been successfully employed? I'm encouraged by the fact that it's like a cost sharing, responsibility sharing thing, but is there somewhere else around here that you could kind of show as an example of where that's happened?
How do you mean local areas? Sorry?
Well, just like the Eastern Ontario region, even anywhere in Ontario.
So the short answer is no. You may be aware that in Ottawa there's 2 different examples that are instructional for our project. The first one is Twin Elm Rugby Park, which is failing miserably because it's not managed as a business and hasn't been for years. The better story in Ottawa is the relationship between the Barrhaven Scottish Rugby Football Club, from whence I come, and the City of Ottawa. In that deal, they do have a irrigated, well-maintained, dedicated rugby pitch out in South Nepean Park, with very favorable rates and preferred usage to the rugby club because they drive a lot of activity there, and a field house, which is paid for by the city, which, I beg your pardon, the rugby club and the local football club both can use free of charge. We're not asking for that sweet a deal from the city of Kingston. The reason why we've had to go farther afield is first to see what business models were out there that were transferable. As we went literally across the province physically and across the country talking to other rugby clubs, the business model that they have is remarkably similar. It's based on multiple revenues off the pitches, multiple revenues off of the field house, as well as camps and other events and so forth. We don't have to reinvent the wheel here, I don't think.
Perfect.
Thank you.
And I also have a quick question for staff as well, if I may. We don't have this relationship that's proposed with any other sports group in the city, right? This would be something that would kind of be relatively new to do a shared sort of services, shared cost, shared maintenance. Is that accurate? Or I can't think of any examples in soccer or hockey or baseball that, so this would be something that'd be a relatively new approach, correct?
Through you, Mr. Chair. The only one I can think of, Councillor, is the BMX Club at Woodbine. It's fairly unique, but from a sports field perspective, they're city-owned assets maintained by the city, permitted by the city. We do have relationship with the school boards where we provide access and vice versa. So there are with the school boards, but not with a particular club that I can think of.
Is there a potential with something like this for cost savings from leveraging relationships like that going forward, not just with rugby, but other clubs potentially, in staff's view?
Yeah, most certainly. Our Rec and Leisure Master Plan identifies working through partnerships as much as possible. We've relayed that information to Mr. Parker as well, that where it does speak to rugby fields specifically and what those might look like. It identifies utilizing existing schools which rugby can be played, and potentially looking at other alternatives as they come up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the committee? Seeing none, I just want to be clear on one thing. Your request is that's for exclusive use of 2 fields, or are you sharing it with soccer or something else?
We're asking 2 things of City Council, sir. The first one is a dedicated home, hopefully at Caton's Park. We are more than happy to share that space with other sports, and indeed we've already started those dialogues. We're not here to push anybody else out. We're here to find a home that we can build rugby and that we can support other clubs to grow. Like I said, we're a team sport.
Okay, thanks very much. I just wanted
Thank
to
you.
be clear about that.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're on to item. No, I know that. We gotta get through this first. Item 6, there are no briefings. Item 7, we start with item 7A, report received from the Arts Advisory Committee. So, the Arts Advisory Committee reports and recommends as follows from the Arts Advisory Committee meeting held on August 11/16. Appointment of working groups. So, 1, sub 1, it's down there someplace, right? The Mayor's Arts Award Working Group, that in accordance with the terms of reference of the Mayor's Arts Award Working Group, Ms. Lynn Kenny and Mr. Brett Christopher, member of the public, be appointed to the Mayor's Arts Award Working Group. Do I have a mover? Councillor Sanik, second by Councillor Bone. Any discussion? Gossip? Anything? No. All those in favor? It passes. Okay. Sub 2, Public Art Working Group. That in accordance with the terms of reference of the Public Art Working Group, Mr. Stefan Durst, member of the public, be appointed to the Public Art Working Group. Now, a mover. Councillor Bohm moves it. Councillor Holland seconds it. All those in favor? Okay. Okay, item 8, motions. Any? None. Okay, what I really meant was 9, notices of motion. No? No, nothing earth-shattering happening here tonight. Okay. 10, other business. There is no other business. Correspondence, I don't think there's any of that either. No, there is none. 12, date and time of the next meeting is October 27th, 6 o'clock. See you all there. Hopefully a couple of others. 13, adjournment, mover, Councillor Sanik. Seconder, Councillor Holland. I'm just fitting everybody in here.